In today's video, we're going to have a look at the geopolitical landscape that is shaping the markets. We're going to talk about Jerome Powell's decision to slowly cut rate cuts. We're also going to have a look at some of the indices and, more importantly, some of the trades that we have made that we have banked a good bit of coin on. I'm going to do a recap of my portfolio, some of the stocks that I am watching. There is a lot to get into in today's video.
Yeah, coincidence. Yeah, coincidence. Yeah, coincidence. Something that happens by chance, I think not.
Welcome back, everyone, to Buy, Hold, Sell, and I hope, of course, you are all well. Feels so good to be back. This is really, honestly, the start of us coming back onto the channel. This is the new studio setup. There's still work to be done. The lighting's too bright. The camera's not quite right. We did get a new microphone, and I don't know if the settings are that well set up yet, but we'll get there. It's a nice Rode microphone, so we're starting to really, again, invest more and more into this whole YouTube setup. This is something that I'm going to be doing now full time. It's incredible to think that I used to be a quantity surveyor full time, and through different reasons, I no longer am doing that. I'm fully out on my own, trying to do content creation and things that ultimately I enjoy and make me happy. So thank you everyone for the support. It has been very stop starting on the channel, but honestly, this is the start of us starting to get going again, and I'm excited to hopefully see this grow further. We got to 6,000 subscribers very quickly over a matter of a couple of years, and it has been stalemate for the last year, and I really feel that once we get the channel going again, can only get better, really. So thanks again, and let's get into it today. So the first thing we'll look at is the S&P. It tells the story really of where we're at. This was back in April when we had peak fear in terms of the tariffs that Donald Trump was knocking out crazy stuff, 100% here, there, that, West way. It all seems to have kind of settled now, and I think the world has just accepted that there is going to be tariffs. There seems to be a blanket 10% across to Europe, for example, that Donald Trump is put in place, and I guess the markets have reacted to that point. And this is the peak fear. We've seen it sell off massively, right down over almost 20% down. That was a great buying opportunity. And in the Discord, and anyone that follows the Discord and stuff will know that I just bought the entire dip absolutely blindly. Just thought to myself, I just don't think that this market is at peak fear yet. I don't feel, with you look at the earnings forecast for a lot of these companies, for the next 18 months from today till the end of 2026, the market is baking in good earnings reports, continued growth for a lot of these companies. And I suppose if companies keep generating more and more cash and keep beating earnings, why would the markets sell off? There is obviously geopolitical landscape right now, which is terrifying. The stuff that's going on in Iran and Israel, and the wars and the fighting and the oil stops, and it is absolutely insane. But all of this happened over the weekend here. The crypto market seemed to massively sell off. We've seen Bitcoin fall below 100K for the first time, and it has remarkably recovered. Monday saw the stock market have a boom, an absolutely incredible rally, and that just tells me that I feel we're on the right track here. I do feel that there is probably really bad stuff to come down the road, but right now it doesn't feel like this landscape is set up for a crash or anything significant. There's going to be a lot of bumps on the road, and obviously if a World War III was to break out, that's going to have a massive impact. But this is just something that I feel like we're going to have to deal with. Donald Trump's in. It's crazy. It's a tweet that drops at any time. The markets are going to react. But if you can keep your head strong and just see that the fundamentals in terms of companies' growth is very strong. Consumer sentiment is also very strong, I feel, where people are still spending bucket loads of cash. Employment rates have stayed relatively steady. And on top of all this, we do have the interest rates that were at peak a couple of years ago starting to come down. Now they're coming down very slowly. Yesterday, Jerome Powell said the reason he felt that he couldn't drop the rates as quick is because of inflation. It's because of the unknowns of how these tariffs are going to affect things. And you can see this article from the Wall Street Journal. Jerome Powell has reaffirmed that he will wait and see. He's worried about the higher tariffs and how all that's going to affect things. So I suppose he's just being cautious with his approach, which is fair enough, I guess. But it also gives us a bit of something down the road. It also lets us see how this all gets baked in, and then hopefully those interest rates start coming down, which again is only going to be bullish for the market, in my opinion. CME Fed Watch Tool is actually saying that there's going to be about 60 basis points between now and the end of the year, with around a 70% chance of a 25 basis points in September. We're waiting for Jerome Powell to speak today, and that will give us an indication of where this is going to go. What I've done in the past is a play on these things in the market. I think the market sentiment is strong. I think we're going to be okay for the foreseeable future. I'm not that worried. I'm in a decent enough position now where I've actually got a load of free cash and I've got a load invested. So it's this win-win scenario for me in terms of that long-term perspective. And I feel right now is what you've got to have. You've got to take these opportunities as buying opportunities for a long-term perspective. I am by no means, sorry, A and B'd into this market. We'll have a look at the portfolio in a moment, but I have got a nice chunk of change in, and I've got a nice chunk of change sitting at the side that I am continually phasing in on buying opportunities. That way, I'm hoping over the next 6 months I have a nice cost basis on a lot of my positions, and that way I should hopefully get a good average and be well protected. We also had a ceasefire supposedly between Israel and Iran. Unfortunately, the ceasefire didn't look to last any longer than a couple of hours. Donald Trump is furious at Israel and he's furious obviously at Iran. He really just wants to get this mess sorted out, but unfortunately his tactics, let's say his business tactics that he usually applies to these geopolitical issues, isn't quite working out the way he wants it to, really. They all obviously have their issues and concerns, and that's not what we're talking about on this channel. But Donald Trump is fuming pretty much that this is happening. He wants to bring peace, he wants to try and get it right. He has also sent out serious attacks to Iran recently. One of the, in his words, the best military operation that he's ever done or ever seen. And it looks to be, I guess, a success to a certain point. There hasn't been really any retaliation as such from Iran, but with that looming in the background, it could be very, very dodgy coming up here. So again, I did do a bit of trimming at the weekend just on the back of crypto sell off. I just thought I'd take a few profits, and it's worked out well. For one of the stocks that I had was Hims and Hers, and it actually fundamentally brought out bad news, sunk about 30%, and I actually trimmed a lot of the profits on that. So I got lucky there. Then there's other ones that I did trim on, like Tesla, which popped 10%. So sometimes selling, even on the back of this news, isn't particularly great. It can bite you in the arse. We've also keeping an eye on the oil prices. And if we actually have a look at the oil prices, this is on the day chart, we can see that we were very, very low. I actually did an oil trade. I mean, we were back to March 21 prices at one stage. So it rising over the recent times, it's not something that I'm massively concerned about. This isn't something that you're looking at going, Jesus, oil prices are dear. Historically, if you look at oil prices being extremely high, usually it's bad for the stock market because it costs obviously companies a lot more to produce energy and stuff like that. And for trading purposes as well, it's cost a lot more for travel. So that's something that you want to be wary of. But look, it's been selling off. It's sold, it rallied up hard, and it's been selling off today. And it looks to be crossing over in the MACD. So again, it looks like this could potentially go down, which is great, I guess, for the stock market, but it is interesting. It's something that you want to keep an eye on. If you just look at some of the news articles, Wall Street bulls call for another 10% rally in the S&P 500 by the end of 2025. So over the next 6 months, they're projecting that the S&P could get 10% rise, which is incredible when you think that the average price of the S&P on a yearly basis is roughly about 10% gains. 6 months, another 10%. That is just very, very bullish. And as always, we're balancing this channel. We can see here that an article from the Business Insider says there could be a potential 25% stock drop as a recession looms in 2025. Of course, it's based on the fact that these companies aren't going to produce. So if you quarter to quarter, if you're seeing earnings starting to dip and employment rates start to go up, then this is obviously going to start turning. And that's really what I'm focused on. I'm focused on if people have jobs and they're spending money and the companies are still producing good earnings, I'm kind of starting to ignore all the noise and all the FUD because I've learned over the last 5, 6 years doing this now that really there's a lot of noise out there. It does swing markets on any given day. It does have that impact. But over the long term perspective, as long as employment is low, oil is low, and the companies are still producing good earnings reports, everything's all right. The markets are strong. And if you look at this here from Market Watch, more people are treating their investments as a form of savings. And I'd love to get any comments. What's your thoughts? Do you think this is bullish? Do you think there's something coming? I mean, historically on this channel, I've been quite bearish on certain things, and we've been right to be at different times. But it does just feel like if you look at those basic fundamentals, it's going to be okay. Now we're going to look at my Trading 212 portfolio. I do have another Trading 212 portfolio, which I will share on a different day. The reason being, I need to go find the secure device to get it logged into my laptop, and that's the same for my crypto portfolio. But this is my ISA. This is my stocks ISA. One of the ones that I've been in for a while is Teladoc, and it's been one that I've been trying to get out of the woods on a bit. I've been buying the dips. Actually, fundamentally, I don't think the company's in a bad position. I feel like it's been a horror show and it's been downwards the trajectory really since I've ever bought it, but I actually believe it could potentially come good. And if we actually look at this company this is on the day chart. If we scroll this right, this company was well $300, sitting at $8 a share now. This is absolutely mental, and it's got a lot of cash on its hands. So we'll keep a close eye on Teladoc. It's one of the ones that I do feel that if I get out of the woods, I will be taking some of the profits off, because I am massively invested in it, in the tune of about 8.5 grand. So it would be nice to maybe get it to about 9 grand, pull off, sell half or something, and keep the rest of the cash in. I've also got a position in Palantir, which is one that I used to have, and I got back into it. Currently up about 62% on it. It's not a huge amount of money. Probably would have liked more. I did go up over 100% on this, and took profits, and then I bought back in and did different things. I'm doing a lot of jiggery on the Palantir dream. AMD is another one that at below $100, I was filling the boat. To me, this could be like a Meta. If you recall, Meta about a year and a half, 2 years ago, fell down to below $100 a share. I did a trade on that, got out, thought happy days, made 50% or something. It is 6x since then. So I feel like AMD could be one. It was at $200 a share. It was at $100. It just felt like it was a double your money opportunity here. Not saying in a couple of months' time, maybe over the next 18 months or something, but it's a golden opportunity, and I just felt like I would take that, so I bought some. Tesla, like I've said enough about Tesla on this channel. Very, very bullish. We'll start covering a lot of more Tesla stocks, and I want to start covering a lot of these stocks that we're showing you now, rather than just the old penny stock meme dreams that we've been doing on the channel. Want to get a bit more serious because I've learned so much, and really the big boys are where you want to be investing your money for a long term. But don't get me wrong, we'll still talk about some of the African miners and all that good stuff. Hims and hers fell. Like I said, I was up 125% or something on Hims and hers. But the recent bad news, unfortunately, as you can see here in this week, we were at what, $65, and it fell. But thankfully that day I put into the Discord that I sold on the Donald Trump news, so I got away at $65. I sold about a grand and a half. So I did able to get a good bit of the money out, thankfully. And now, yeah, look, I'm up 50%, but it's very little beer that's left in it, thankfully. Dollar General is one that we've covered on the channel many times. When tough times come, Dollar General always performs well. And I just felt with maybe people being a bit more skint, cost of living, all that, Donald Trump, Dollar General would be a good hedge. Also, we looked at it from a trading perspective, which again, I've done so much, I can't possibly talk about it all on this channel, but it looked very good from a trading perspective. Back at these levels, you can see here, this was really a bottom, and I just felt waited for the MACD to cross over all the stuff we talk about in the trading course. It just felt right. I bought it, and it's worked out to be very, very good, especially over the last month. So we're doing well on that. TKO is a company that I invest in purely because I love wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan. Know what you own, as Peter Lynch always says. Used to say, God rest his soul. And so I thought to myself, I know they're doing so much. I've seen it become such a big advertising beast right now. They're doing so much things to generate money. The change of directors, bringing in Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. There's a lot of stuff that's happened, and I just look at it and go, these world tours that they're doing, they're bringing all this stuff overseas. It's huge money. I try to get tickets in Dublin, huge money. I went to WrestleMania, huge money. So everything's changing with them, and I just think with that and the UFC, don't forget that's the other company that is owned in it. I just felt like there's plenty of upside. A lot of analysts are saying over $200 a share is good value for it. I'm just holding it long. I feel like it's a good one. I have trimmed some profits out of it though. And I've done a bit of jiggery, as I've said. Another one that I've been buying into, once someone actually put it in the Discord, is B&M. A bit like Dollar General, just feel like these kind of stores are good hedge to the more growth stocks. Gives me a bit more diversity. But the good thing about B&M is it's got a good dividend of about 11% over the course of a year, which is lovely. I think the dividend date is tomorrow, ex-dividend date. So there will probably be a drop on that, but currently up about 2%. As you can see, I mean, if you look at it here, December 18, March the 20th. October 22, and in May 25, it seems to go down low and up high. So hopefully I've caught pretty much the bottom on that. The new director, CEOs came in, bought a load of shares and talking about changing the company round and all this type of thing. So yeah, look, it could be a good one. I'm content with what they're doing, and we'll see where it goes. Not a huge amount of money in it. I do have my other portfolio, which we'll share on the next video, I guess. Where I bought about another grand or so in that, so about 2 grand in that as well. But look, that's a really high level video of where my portfolio is. It doesn't really give you much insight into the kind of trades that I'm doing. I've just noticed that the length of this video is ridiculous. So look, that's a real update on everything, I guess. We will start covering topics, our stocks, and general updates, and we'll get back into the swing of things. But it's good to finally record a video again. There's not much else to say really in this video. I just wanted to get the camera on, just wanted to give you a bit of an update and a bit of talk. The Discord has been going well over the last while. There's a good group of people in there that communicate and share stuff. And thanks to everyone in that. And again, we'll pull up all that going forward. But in this video, I just wanted to get the mic on, get talking, and hopefully I've got a bit of an insight into where I'm at with everything. I will speak to you all very, very soon. And if you can leave any comments down below on what's your thoughts with the markets, what's your thought on the channel, how's the sound, how's the lighting, anything at all is good. And I will be back very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.